Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we got play-up props here for you guys on a Thursday night. Only 4 games to choose from. Not too much going on with the back-to-back, so we do have some decent options here, but you'll probably see that there's a couple games we like to choose from in this one. Also have a couple other game videos up on this slate for you guys, so make sure to like and subscribe to that page and continue to follow along. Also head to thelines.com. You can check out all the great stuff we're talking about here and more, as the NBA has taken over our site for now. And you can also use that odds finder tool we have up there. Nate and I use that every morning to make sure we're getting the best odds available on all these player props that we are picking for you guys. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into our first NBA player prop for tonight, Mr. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I mean, I like over in this Warriors-Clippers game. I at least like Kawhi to do his thing. 24.5 points is his prop, and you're getting terrible odds on it. You could go up to 25.5 and get better. Same thing with the points and rebounds. It's like they're baiting you into everything except the three-pointers, where you're getting plus 135 for him to hit 3. Intriguing there, but, I mean, he's not a high-volume three-point shooter, although he did go 7 for 9 last time against the Warriors, had 33 points in that game. That's at home, and he tends to be better on the road this season. I mean, he's shooting, his incredible 55, like 60, 50, 90 splits that only Kawhi can put up. Most of those are even better on the road. He has topped this scoring prop in 8 of his last 10 road games, the exception being at Phoenix, at Milwaukee, 2 excellent defensive teams. Phoenix when they still have Mikal Bridges, of course. And even with those, he's averaging 28 with a 127 offensive rating, hitting about 2.5 threes at 45%. And he's shooting 62% from 3 in 3 games with Westbrook, averaging 33 a game. Still a 132 offensive rating, still one of the most efficient scorers in the game. And it's not like Westbrook is taking away from his opportunities. The usage rate is about the same. And I just think he'll cook tonight with no Andrew Wiggins there to guard him either.
Yeah. I mean, this is where I would lean if I'm taking somebody in this game. I think Kawhi, like you said, has not been nearly as affected by Russ being there nearly as much as maybe Paul George. I mean, Paul George's usage rate is still way up, and I think he's actually getting in with the second unit a little bit more and sort of running that. So it actually does, allow Kawhi to remain with decent numbers when Russ is on the floor. Although I did talk about in that game video how Russ is mucking up that offensive rating of the starting lineup, which scares me. But Kawhi is the guy right now that I think I feel a little bit more comfortable betting on in games, as he's continuing to kind of take over the scoring more so than even PG at this point, who's doing a little bit more of the dirty work as well for the Stars. But I'm going to go under in a second bet in this game. Mr. Jordan Poole, you alluded to that I was going to do this in the game video. You can get under 23.5 points, kind of scary, but minus 103 on Caesars, where you get the best odds there. You could take the PRA, the rebounds and assists added there, under 31.5. Also really good odds, minus 105 on DK. So they are tempting us to take an under, because maybe the odds thinks that Jay Poole is going to have a little bit better game than I think. LAC right now, the Clips are killing shooting guards all season long and in the last couple of weeks, especially number 2 in limiting points, number 5 in limiting rebounds, number 6 in limiting threes, all the things, obviously, that the main way Jordan Poole wants to score. And then shooting guards against them since Russ has returned. I mean, do what you will. Poeltl only had 11 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. The more impressive feat was slowing down Ant Edwards on the Timberwolves there to only 18 points, 4 boards, and 3 assists. KCP on the Nuggets. I mean, Jamal Murray only had 21 points. I say only because that's under this prop, but he did have 12 assists. And KCP is the shooting guard, and he did get the bulk of the minutes at shooting guard and didn't get close to this prop either. Not quite as comparable, but I also just love that Jordan Poole is much better on the road right now. In his last 10 games, the last 10 of each of these games that he's played, whether on the road, in his last 10, 24 points, 4.5 assists, and 3.5 boards. At home, 7 fewer points at 17 a game, one more assist, and the exact same number on the rebounds there. And all those numbers that he's had at home as of late are the same numbers that he's been having against the Clippers as well. 17 a game in his last 4 versus the Clips, and then 4.5 assists as well. I know he had a really good game on the road versus them last time, but once again, that was on the road, and I am pretty focused on his splits where they're way worse at home.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dogged defenders on this Clippers team now. I don't count out Russ in terms of the effort. PG could switch on to Poole and Terrence Mann if he gets some minutes off the bench. But, Yeah, it's a question of who is their main priority because they really got the ball out of Ant's hands early there against Minnesota. Are they going to be doing that with Clay or with Poole? I mean, they have done a good job on Poole, like you mentioned. I think if he goes under this, he might go well under, like even under 20 points, as has been the average. So maybe an alternate line here. And I wish there was a player performance double to take Poole under and Clippers win because I think he's so essential to what the Warriors have to do to win this game at home. But another guy who's been key to what they're doing is Donte DiVincenzo, who's really spiked in terms of his playing time in the last three. It might be scary because his game log shows he hasn't gotten this prop at all consistently, but he hasn't been playing 36 minutes consistently either. I'm talking 8.5 rebounds and assists. His scoring is at 12.5 points, and he is averaging 19 in his last three here, along with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. As a per 36 guy, we're talking almost 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Also, for his career, he's at 11. He's just kind of that extra hustle guy, the cutter, that make the extra pass, fits in really well with the Warriors' offense because of that. And, in home games where the Warriors are much better on offense, since February 1st, 15 points per game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. So it is below that average. That's why I'm saying you might shy away from this, but we too often maybe look, this guy's getting it every single time in his game log instead of trying to think ahead and say, you know what, DiVincenzo's role is growing. He's played 35.5 minutes and has been a plus 38 in these last 3 home games. So I got to assume Steve Kerr continues to give him a good amount of run here, especially against a Clippers team that plays these small ball lineups and you need a guy like DiVincenzo out there to play two ways.
Yeah, I mean, if you like points, dude, I mean, you might as well take the points for DiVincenzo at 12.5. I think that's, that the numbers basically indicate that 12.5 points is slightly below what you would expect him to get, similar to how maybe you expect him to get a tick more than the rebounds and assists. And if you like points, seems like maybe that's where he can also help out a ton. I would take the points for Donte, to be honest, but you do get the better juice on the rebounds and assists. And if he's going to be a playmaker, though, you're kind of screwing my bet up about Jordan Poole not scoring because that means he's probably going to score a bit more. So we'll see. Maybe some contrasting thinking is what I'm trying to say here in this game. But I'm going to move the one prop we have. I'll move on to the one prop we have in a different game here. Jakob Poeltl, back to the Poeltl well. He did disappoint last time, although he did cover his points prop at 14 points last time, which was over the 12.5. It's now at 11.5 points for him at minus 106 on Caesars. You can throw the double-double in there. It's also 20.5 points and rebounds if you want to throw that. I obviously have just gotten cold feet since he got 3 boards. It's like it was so traumatizing that Poeltl had 3 boards the other night against the Bulls. But maybe we should believe the Bulls in that they're now the best rebounding team in the league because they've been that for like a month. So I guess that's part of it. Tonight, it's going to be a situation where he's going to be on the floor. He actually only got 26 minutes against the Bulls the other night, which was a problem. We talked about in the game video when he gets 30 minutes, he's definitely, he's almost always hitting his props, at least with the Raps so far, who are 5 and 6 with him, by the way. And you can expect I'm sorry, 5-1. Thank you. 5 of 6 that they've won with him. And then they're playing a team tonight in the Zards where Gafford has been on the floor starting with Zinger when he's in there, Porzingis. And so you can expect both those guys to be out there consistently, as it's worked pretty well for them actually. And that means you need your 7-footer out there. Like your only 7-footer if you're the Raptors. His last game versus the Zards, he only had 22 minutes in a Spurs tank, 7 boards, 7 points and 5 boards. But the game before that, where he was trying a bit more against Washington, 28 points, 11 boards, and actually 8 assists in more than 41 minutes, which was in Washington as well, where this game is. So probably a good scenario for him where he seems to like playing here. I like the points at 11.5 just because I think they're way too low. And even if he does get 7 boards, likely that's going to lead to a few putbacks. And just he's scared. He traumatized me by getting 3 rebounds in a game that he should have had way more. So that's why I'm saying it.
Yeah, I think Josh is just affected by recency bias in that case. Definitely. And I think the rebounds are good here. Isn't it just 8.5 rebounds on its own too? I would buy low on that. I mean, I talked about in the game video, Washington's 28th in defensive rebounding rate over their last 6. They're really poor offensively since the break, and they've really struggled in their last 3 against Toronto last year, scoring just 98 a game. So I think more opportunities for him to board and more playing time because, like you mentioned, they start 3 guys 6'10" and over in the front court. Yeah. So I could see him playing 30 to 37 minutes again here.
Yeah, definitely. Don't fail us now, Poeltl. I believe in you, baby. So that's all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along as we are coming back to you guys to finish the week tomorrow with those player props and game videos. So until we see you next, happy betting.